We're now going to take a look at making a style sheet for our HTML pages. So this video will focus on just making the style sheet. As you can see here, I've already made a HTML page, and that does contain HTML that links the style sheet to it, but we'll look at that in a later video. So in order to create my style sheet, it's very similar to how I made my initial HTML pages. I go new, and I select text document. I'm going to call it style, and change the extension, this case, to CSS, Cascading Style Sheet. Once I click off it, it's going to give me a warning that the file type is going to change. I go yes, and now it is a style sheet. So I'm going to right click on that and open it with Notepad. And then on the right hand side, I'm going to have the actual HTML page. So as you can see here, it's actually got the sections I want to have in my style sheet already prepared to be allocated. So in order to start off my style sheet, I begin by naming all my sections. So in this case, I'm going to firstly create a container. And a container kind of encapsulates all the other parts of my style sheet and keeps them all grouped together. So this container I'm just going to call container. And I'm going to press space and open the brackets, and as you can see, it's a weird squiggled bracket. Okay, I'm going to use that to open the properties section of the container. So I press enter, and the only property I'm going to put into it is width. And the width I'm going to have for my container is 1000 pixels. And I close that off with a semicolon. Okay, that's the only property I'm going to have in my container, and then go close brackets. Now that I've made my container, I'm now going to make the different sections that will appear within my style sheet. So the first one, as we can see over here, is going to be a header section. So in order to create that, I go to the next line, hashtag once again, header. Okay, and for the header, I'm going to use the properties width once again, so width, okay, and the width is going to be the same size as in the container, so 1000 pixels, and put a semicolon. You must remember to put these semicolons, otherwise the property won't work. And the other thing I'm going to add is a height now. And for my height, I might make it 100 pixels. Now, a good way to gauge how big your actual header should be is if you're going to use an image in your header as the skin for the background, which is common for many web pages, think how big that image might be. So I do want it to be the width of the entire container, and its height will be the width of the actual image, okay? And that will make my website look really good. Now, the other properties I'm going to be adding in relate to a border. Now, this is just so we can see on my HTML side how this affects the actual page. So I'm going to save my document after closing off the bracket. Let's go save, and then let's reload this page. And can you see here now, I have a designated header area, 1000 pixels by 100 pixels. This is the header here. So that style would be placed onto every page that I link to this style sheet. Next, we'll do the navigation area. Now, for the navigation area, I want it to be an area where I'm going to put my buttons for navigation. Okay, so all I'm going to do here is put in the properties of width, height, and the borders. So I'm just going to copy it from up here and put it in here. Obviously, I'm not going to have that same height. It's only going to be thin to fit in buttons, so I might just make it 50. Okay, and so I'll close off the bracket one more time. Save it, and let's reload. And now I have a navigation area to put in my buttons. Okay, we'll now move on to the body, and we've got to remember that the body is where the bulk of my document is going to go. So let's go hashtag body, open brackets, and we'll put in all those same properties once again. Okay, the body's width is going to stay the same, but I'm going to make it a bit longer because I need a bit of content in there. So we'll make it 500 in height. Okay, close off the brackets and save, and let's reload. So my body's been inserted. As we can see, it's a bit larger. Okay, and this is so I can put in any kind of images, text, whatever I need. The body will differ on every web page of my site, but I've got a big area to work with. And then the final thing that I'll put in is a footer. So let's go hashtag footer. And in the footer, it's just going to be very thin. So once again, I'll go 50 pixels. And this just might be a copyright for my page. Or I might say who published the page and created the page down the bottom so I can assign it to me. Okay, I'll close off the brackets there. And save. Reload the page. Okay, and if I scroll down, you'll see I have a footer section. Okay, so basically I've made a layout for my pages. This is a very simple style sheet, but the sections have been highlighted by the fact that I've added in those borders. Okay, but obviously I can use colors to differentiate the sections and different types of shadings. Okay, but a style sheet is great as that allows you to create one style in a style sheet, and then you can apply it to many other websites, okay, and HTML pages, thus reducing the amount of code you need in each HTML page, okay, and making it a lot faster to apply styles as you don't have to code every page individually. So I hope that helps you out. So give it a try.